All right, we are in section 5.6, using multiplicative inverses to solve equations. We know that multiplicative inverse is a fancy word for the reciprocal. It's a fancy word for the reciprocal. It's basically the inverse of a fraction. All right, and here's how it works. Okay, now, whenever I'm solving an equation, I always ask myself, how do I get the variable by itself? Well, in this case, a fraction is connected to the variable. So in order to get the fraction to cancel out to the other side, I must multiply it by the multiplicative inverse, or the reciprocal. That makes all of these cancel down to 1. But is 1x the same thing as x? Yeah, it's the same thing. So I can just write x equals negative 12. Oh, I'm sorry, not x equals negative 12. Why? Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the same thing to the other side. 7 over 4, this cross reduces, and x equals negative 21. Negative 21. All right, I want you to try the second one. 2/3 x equals 22. Even if, like on a blank sheet of paper, we're not looking at our notes from Tuesday. I just want you to go ahead and work this on a blank sheet of paper. All right, so what am I going to multiply both sides by? 3 over 2. That cancels. Multiply this side by 3 over 2. Cross reduce. And x equals what?
33.
33. Very good. All right, now on the third one, what do I need to multiply by on this one?
Negative 9 over 5.
Negative 9 over 5. If a negative is attached to the variable, I have to multiply by the negative reciprocal. So now I have x by myself, which is my goal, but now I have to multiply this side by negative 9 over 5. I can cross reduce. And now, again, make sure that you've got your signs right. What is negative 3 times negative 9?
27.
Positive 27. Very good. All right, and that's my answer. Any questions on just multiplying by the reciprocal to solve for the equation? Now, in the next example, in example 2, we talked about now I have more than one fraction. So what do I have to do first? What do I have to do first? Find the LCD so I can clear my fractions. I want to be able to clear my fractions, so that's why I need to find my LCD. I do that by multiplying every term in the equation by my LCD. And I don't mind if this is how you write it on your homework assignments, okay? Because then you can just multiply each term. So 15 and 15 cancel, and I'm just left with negative 11x. 5 and 15, 15 reduces to what? 3, so what's 3 times 4? 12. All right, now 3 and 15, 15 reduces to, so 1 times 5 is 5. All right, do you see where I got these terms from? Do you see how I did that? Yeah. I cleared my fractions. Now I can solve this like a regular two-step equation. Negative 11x equals negative 7 over 11. Okay, or x equals negative 7 over 11. Clearing my fractions involves finding the LCD and then using the LCD to multiply each term in the equation by that number, clears my fractions, and then I can solve it like normal. Okay, so going back, I had to divide both sides by negative 11, which makes this a positive 7 over 11. All right, thanks for that, guys. All right, so now let's look at the second problem. Okay, again, I have to figure out what my LCD of my denominators is. So what do you think your LCD is going to be? Is it going to be 18? Do all three numbers go into 18? Yeah. So I'm going to multiply each term by 18 or 18 over 1, either way you want to look at it. Multiply by 18 and multiply by 18. Okay, so between 18 and 9, what does 18 reduce to? How many times does 9 go into? Yeah, very good, 2. So now 2 times 7 is what? 14x. Now 3 and 18, 18 reduces to 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Why positive 12? Why not negative 12? Because of the sign in front of the term, right?
Oh, okay. So
If that was a negative, then it would be negative 12. Yeah. Okay, and then 6 and 18. 18 reduces to 3, and 5 times 3 is 15. And now I can just solve it. Subtract 12 from both sides. 14x equals 3. Divide by 14. And x equals 3 over 14. All right, you think you can clear your fractions for the last one? Think you can do it? All right, I'm going to change this denominator to a 9 to make it a little easier. All right, go ahead and try to clear your fractions and solve the third equation. All right, now what am I going to multiply each term by?
54.
Nope. Oh, yeah, 54. Okay, so 54 and 54 and 54. Oops. Got to include, well, I'll do it that way. Okay, and 54. So now I cross reduce. I have 20x minus, that's 6, 18, equals, that's 9, negative 9. Did y'all get that?
Oh, I got negative 27. Oh, because I put a negative 7 for my 9.
Okay. Then I need to add 18 to both sides. 20x equals 9. Divide both sides by 20. Can I reduce 9 over 20? No, so that's just my answer. All right, so clearing fractions, find your LCD, multiply each term in the equation by your LCD to clear your denominators, your leftovers, you multiply by your numerator, and that gives you your new equation that you can solve. All right, so now in example 3, we're doing all of those things, except now we have a blank slate. We're given a word problem, and we have to figure out how to write the equation. All right, so we have a statistic. It's a cave example. Stalactites are icicle-shaped stone formations found on cave ceilings. I'm on page 247. They follow from minerals deposited by dripping water, or they form from minerals deposited by dripping water. Suppose a stalactite is 10 inches long and growing at a rate of about 1/8 inch per decade. How long is it going to take for the stalactite to reach a length of 1 foot? So there's our numbers. So what I need to do is I need to write the current length. How long is it right now? How long is it right now? It's 10 inches, right? And I need to add it to how much does it grow per year? Yeah, 1/8 of an inch. I don't know how many years, so I could say T for time or Y for years equals the new length of 1 foot. Well, how many inches are in a foot? 12. Everything else in here is in inches. So if I say 1, it's not to scale. I have to write the foot in inches. That's why it's a 12. Yeah, since that's what we're measuring by. So now what do I do first? Now I just solve it. Yeah, subtract 10 from both sides. Subtract what's not connected to your variable. So subtract 10, 1/8 x equals 2. Now what do I do? Yeah, so how do I get rid of 1/8? Multiply by 8 over 1, or just 8. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So x equals 16 months, 16 decades. Not 16 years. Because the question asks let's see, how long will it take? And they're talking in terms of decades, 160 years. Yeah, 16 decades. All right. So this is just like your homework question Looks like number 19. Number 19 is going to be very similar. And looks like number 31. 30 and 31. So just these word problems. All right, if you understand that, that is everything you need to know for 5.6.